Tomorrow it'll be 3 weeks. It's day 20 of the government shutdown. Air traffic controllers are continuing to work without a paycheck. Joining us now with the latest, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Mr. Secretary, it's good to see you. You haven't had a lot of individuals. It's not called a blue flu. I don't know what we'd call it, but some are not coming in. It's still safe at this point?
Yeah, so first, thank you to all our air traffic controllers who do show up for work. We've had a few blips, Joe, in the system. Where, you know, in one region, one day, another region, another day, we'll have some delays because air traffic controllers are out. There's been some more sick leave than we'd seen in the past. But I'm telling you what, looking forward, the next check that comes for air traffic controllers are a week from tomorrow. And I think we could see more disruptions when that happens. A lot of them have made the point they have to find other ways to feed their families, whether they're going to drive Uber or they're going to find some short-term employment. We could see some more disruption. I don't want to see that. I think that would be difficult for the traveling public. But, you know, this is the consequence of a long-term shutdown. We're 20 days in. Republicans have said, let's do a clean CR. Democrats have said, you know what, we want to negotiate on health care, specifically health care for illegals. And Republicans don't really have any room to negotiate because they've done what's clean. What they had in September, Republicans want to have in October. And so there's not room to negotiate. Really, Democrats have to come to the table, stop holding the economy hostage.
If it keeps going, and I don't know how long we go, but you could see more, maybe, as you described, doing other things because they have to feed the family. Will they be gone? When you say you want dedicated and the best air traffic controllers around, would some of them be let go for not showing up? Do you have the ability to do that?
I do have the ability to do that. A vast majority of them are amazing controllers, American servants. They wear American flag Pell pins on their chests. We do have a few locations where there's more problems, consistent problems, even when we didn't have the shutdown. And again, I want the best controllers that are dedicated to the work that they do. And if we see a pattern of people not showing up, or when things are difficult, they call in sick, I think those are people we should look at. But again, these are a critical part of our safety apparatus in the air. And I need more of them, not less of them. I'm about 2,000 to 3,000 short right now. So I'm trying to add to the number, not subtract from the number.
How about TSA? It's been mentioned on the show more than a few times that previous shutdowns have come to an end because of the possible impact on the economy, the negative impact if you're not flying, if it's severely hampered. And TSA is the same situation as air traffic controllers, it seems like.
They're very similar, but TSA falls under Homeland Security. Kristi Noem has right. TSA, but I think the analysis is the same. People who do critical jobs for the economy not being paid for those jobs. But I've been part of a number of shutdowns over the course of my tenure in Congress, and no one even in Congress knows when it's going to end. There's a certain energy and fuel that has to burn. And I think once more Americans become sick of the hassle of not having their government open, that's when the pressure comes. And I think Democrats will come to their senses and say, okay, let's open this thing back up. Let's have a conversation. Let's negotiate and talk when the government's funded. I think that's where we're going to get to. Whether it's going to be in 5 days or 5 weeks, I'm not sure.
It's a different world with you in charge, obviously. I can remember, I tried to figure out, I finally understood what a racist bridge was, because if you don't use infrastructure funds to connect certain communities, I can sort of get there, but it was pretty crazy. You're willing to fire, or at least you're willing to withhold $40 million if California doesn't require truck drivers to be proficient in the English language.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So this has been a long-standing rule in America that if you're going to be a truck driver, you're going to drive an 18-wheeler, you're going to drive a school bus, you have to be proficient in the English language. So you got to be able to speak English, and you have to understand road signs. It goes back decades. It's just that the rule was not being enforced. And so we're now enforcing the rule because we've seen a number of crashes where, again, these drivers, they can't read road signs. If there is a crash, they can't communicate with law enforcement. And so every state has complied, all of them except California. Which is baffling to us because, again, they should be just as concerned about safety as the rest of us. Now, the problem is if you get a CDL, a commercial driver's license in California, That license is not just for California. You can drive anywhere in the 50 states. And so these drivers from California who aren't proficient in English drive across the country. Now, other states, if they pull over those drivers, they'll flag them as not being proficient in English, and they'll take them out of service. And again, when these big rigs are taken out of service, it costs a lot of money to get a driver back in and start to move the load. So it's a significant penalty. We hope California gets on board. We've taken $40 million away from them. We also have, they've also issued a lot of CDL licenses to those who are not here lawfully, or they'll issue a driver's license for 5 years, but the work permit for the migrant is only 1 year. So it extends well beyond the work permit, which encourages those who are here maybe with a work permit to stay beyond their work permit because they have a driver's license. California has to do a lot of work in looking back at their system where they gave illegal driver's licenses and revoke those. Again, this is just about safety, though, Joe. It's not about politics. It's about making sure our roads are safe.
I know NASA is under your purview as well. Exciting about the Artemis, too. You're making strides there. Less emphasis on the climate crisis now at NASA. I can't imagine the carbon footprint for this. You thinking through these things?
There's a lot of agencies that can deal with climate. There's only one that does human space exploration, and that's NASA. And that's what we've refocused on. So in the first part of next year, Artemis 2 is going to go out to the moon and back. They're not going to land this time, but this is the first time in 54 years we're going back to the moon. We actually right now down at Kennedy Space Center in Florida, we have the rocket alongside the capsule where it's going to hold our astronauts. We're about to merge those two together. We do the final testing. We think the original timeline was doing this launch in April. We think we can do it in early February, which is really cool. Artemis 3 comes a couple years after that. Now, SpaceX had the contract for Artemis 3. By the way, I love SpaceX. It's an amazing company. The problem is they're behind. They pushed their timelines out, and we're in a race against China. The president and I want to get to the moon in this president's term. So I'm going to open up the contract. I'm going to let other space companies compete with SpaceX, like Blue Origin. And again, whatever one can get us there first to the moon, we're going to take. And if SpaceX is behind, but Blue Origin can do it before them, good on Blue Origin. But by the way, we also might have two companies that can get us back to the moon in 2028. But again, we're not going to wait for one company. We're going to push this forward and win the second space race against the Chinese, get back to the moon, set up a camp, a base, and from there we're going to figure out how we can actually get to Mars.